Hello, and welcome to 1111 Oracle. And of course, if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, and thank you so much for supporting the channel. Sorry, just moving things around. Today we're going to take a look at what is your strongest psychic ability. We're going to be using runes. If you don't know what runes are, R-U-N-E. They are basically, we have like little, I have lapis lazuli crystals, but it could be on any stone or rock, where you have symbols. Basically, runes are these ancient symbols, okay, very much linked to Norse traditions and mythology, Nordic cultures in Europe. And it's a form of, we use runes as a form of divination, much like tarot. Now, you have to forgive me, I'm much more familiar with the tarot. I've been reading tarot since I was about 10 years old. Runes is just something that I picked up more recently. And I have this little cutesy little booklet with me where I have keywords. And what I'm going to do is just skim for the keywords that stand out to me, and then I'll piece it together and channel and use my intuitive abilities to create a good image of what your abilities are, and then I have after I look at the runes, I'm going to pick one of these to see what your strongest gift is. On each little paper I have something else written. So we are going to get right into it, and we're going to take a look at what your strongest psychic ability is. Before I get too into it, I just want you to notice, sorry, that wasn't quite what I wanted to say. I just want to mention that I have a special promotion going on where if you email me a screenshot of your subscription to my channel, then I will grant you 50% off any reading or service of your choice. If this is still a little too steep for you, especially during these trying times, but you really do want something more personal, I am offering only through email $1 per question. So you can email me to see how that works, and we can go from there. And all exchanges are done in USD. More information linked in the description below with my website as well. Okay, so choices. So I've doodled some little drawings in my notebook this time instead of crystals or anything like that. I decided to do things a little differently. So here are the choices for you. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, see which one you are most drawn towards. All right. Whoop. And we are going to get started here. Technical difficulties. All right, that's good. Okay, let's start off with number 1. Okay, number 1, before I look at your runes, I will say, based on the image that you chose, you are someone who is very analytical. You go over things a lot in your mind. You're able to perceive all the different dimensions of things. You're very intelligent, very intellectual, but sometimes you can get yourself wrapped up in a thought that just kind of, it's almost like the thought becomes a staircase going down to hell kind of thing, where it's just like this downward motion where you just like, you can't let go of this thought, and it just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. That's when you go, stop, bring out the stop sign, take a deep breath in, deep breath out, let it go. You don't have to solve every thought, but you do. You're a problem solver. You like to figure things out. And you have a very analytical mind. You're exceptionally intelligent, and you're very much able to connect the dots. Okay, let's take a look at your runes. Okay, you got 3. Let me bring this there. Okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look at your runes. Interesting. Okay. Hagalaz. Let me see if it's reversed or not. Nope. It is upright. Hagalaz. It seems like you've been developing your gifts a lot through this time of COVID. Am I right or am I right? A lot of these gifts have come about when you're just sort of sitting there and you have almost like less to do. So your mind, being such an intellectual and, you know, mentally active person that you are, is always searching for something. So you have kind of stumbled upon this possibility that you might be psychic and that you might have certain gifts, and you certainly are. I can tell you that quite confidently. All right, and so a lot of these gifts have come about through COVID. You're also learning to control your gifts, how to you know, manifest them properly, how to develop them properly. Let's take a look. What else do we have? We have Dagaz. Okay. You are going through an awakening. If you haven't gone through an awakening already, a spiritual awakening, then you will be going through one very soon, within the next few months. You are very powerful being indeed, and you create little, almost like mini awakenings for the people around you. You change the way people perceive things, and you're kind of a trailblazer, a little bit intimidating, certainly, because people see you and it's almost like, oh no, she is coming, and they're going to change everything up. They're going to disrupt everything. You may be an indigo child if you're interested, if you're into that kind of concept. You can look it up and see if it resonates with you. Of course, these are just terms that we humans give out to people who express a certain high vibration, a certain kind of aura. In your case, this may very well ring true. You may have all the qualities that make up an indigo child. So you might want to look that up, indigo child or an adult. And take everything with a grain of salt. You know, sometimes, you know, things get very particular with the indigo thing, where some people say, oh, you have to be born in a certain time period and blah blah blah, and at the end of the day, all of that is hogwash. You can be born in any time. It's just that there was supposedly many of these same kinds of souls with the similar frequency that came about at a certain time period, but that doesn't mean that someone from another time period before was also an indigo child, or that if you were born, you know, in this specific time, that you're something else. So anyway, look into that. That might be of interest to you. Okay. Let's take a look at the other rune that we have, and it is Kenaz. Let me just bring up some keywords for you for Kenaz. Oh, I have it reversed. What's going on with you? All right. You may feel... This might be a particularly difficult time for you, where you might have recently gone through some kind of a breakup. You may know someone who has experienced COVID, or you yourself might have experienced it, or some other kind of ailment. There are just a bunch of keywords that come up, so take what resonates, leave the rest, of course. There's a sense of just despair and lack of hope, instability, lack of creativity here. So it's almost like you don't feel like you're powerful enough to have psychic abilities. This is all new to you. So you're seeking, a lot of you are seeking these videos out as your sort of exploratory, new beginning, pioneering a new beginning into this fascinating world of the unseen. And you are very psychic, so I'm not sure why you doubt yourself so much. Could it be because you just never thought of yourself in that way? I know I can doubt myself a lot as well, and I certainly have. But rest assured, you do have these abilities that are awakening, and they're growing and they're growing and they're growing. And like I said, you're going to go through a spiritual awakening, especially if you haven't gone through one already. And this rings true for everyone. If you have gone through a spiritual awakening, I'm hearing very strongly right now, you are going to be going through another one. And so with this spiritual awakening, you're basically opening the door to a host of abilities and connections with spirit that are foreign to you now, but you've experienced this in the past, and so have your family members in the past. Certain family members of yours who have the gift, right, certain psychic abilities. You are not alone in your experiences, certainly in the, in the general world of the people who have abilities, but you're not alone in this when it comes to your family or even your friend group. You may have some friends that are hiding the fact that they have abilities, but using your intuition and opening up to the right people, but weighing out if you feel the circumstance calls for it, you'll find that your connection with one person in particular, or some people in particular, is going to strengthen after you talk about some of your gifts with them. Interesting, because it's usually the opposite. It doesn't always happen that way. So very, very beautiful here. Now let's take a look at the beautiful messages, and we're going to take this one for your strongest psychic ability, and let's take a look. Well, so I'll just read it to you because I know my writing is bad. So I took out a paper that says clear cognizance, clear knowing. This is one of the rarest of the clairs, by the way. And you have the ability just to know things. You just know, and you've always kind of been like this, but you can be a pretty practical, hands-on, lot more logical person as well. So it's hard to trust what the messages and the impressions that you get coming through. But you've always been this way. It's always been your strongest gift. Spirit is saying it is yours. This is your gift to use, to utilize for the benefit of yourself and others. And Spirit has gifted, this is not a mistake. Spirit is saying it's gifted, this gift to you for a reason. And if you're interested in knowing how to develop it further, my next video is going to be on how to recognize clear cognizance within yourself, and I'll talk a little bit about clear cognizance further. So yeah, you're developing your beautiful psychic abilities during COVID right now, and you have so much coming through because of this awakening. There's just so much more for you to discover. I don't even have access to all of the abilities that you're going to develop along your path, because your strongest gift right now is clear cognizance and clear knowing. There's so many other gifts that are going to emerge as you move forward on this beautiful journey with Spirit. So very, 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 very cool. I hope you enjoyed that reading, and I look forward to reading for you in a future video. See you later. Hello, number two. Where are my empaths at? You guys are empaths for sure. Now, I haven't pulled up your strongest gift yet, and I'm going to share it with you at the end of your reading. But one of your gifts that is coming up very strongly is that you are certainly an empath. You are someone who feels the emotions of others, and you understand what other people are going through just by being near them and tuning in and tapping into their energy. You do this without wanting to. You're a very powerful empath, I'm getting, and you're able to sometimes feel the emotions of others to a certain point that you feel so overwhelmed. It's very important for you to go home and recharge, because these energies can get a little too intense. All right. Let's take a look at your runes. Ooh. Excuse me, I just had to drink some water. You got 4. All right. Interesting. That's fascinating. I just want the mermaid painting in the background. Why do I feel called to show you that? I don't know, but maybe we'll find out. Okay, I feel like you know. You know, and then being an empath, very drawn to water. I feel like some of you may be drawn to the concept of being a starseed. And if that doesn't resonate with you, by all means, throw it out the window. But you're someone who draws their psychic and intuitive abilities through water. Water is very much your element. And if you're open to this concept, you know, the idea of living in another star system as possibly a mystical being like a mermaid, I mean, you know, might interest you, might speak some inner wisdom and truth to you that might click and make sense right now. Let's take a look. So you have Laguz, but you have Laguz upside down. So let's see why that is. So this is there's some kind of confusion in your life. Everything is just, you know, maybe making wrong decisions and poor judgments, lack of creativity and feelings of being in a rut, fear, circular motion, avoidance, withering, madness, obsession, despair. Very intense, heavy emotions. You know what's interesting with you? Okay. You feel like it's all you. But actually, you're picking up a lot of these negative feelings from others, especially with what's happening globally in the planet right now. You are internalizing the outside and bringing it in. Does that make sense? You're internalizing what's on the outside and you're bringing it in so that you're confusing, there we go, confusion, even in pronouncing words apparently. That's for me. I don't know if it's for you, to let me know in the comments, but yes, you are confusing a lot of other people's stuff for yours. And Spirit wants to let me tell you what? That's an awkward sentence if ever I made one. Spirit would like to pass along that you need to almost do more mindful or some kind of meditation practice or some kind of grounding technique or some writing exercise where you write how you're feeling and maybe you see if it makes any sense and see if actually it's more so that you're picking up on other people's vibes and not so much being synchronous and in line with your own. You may not be able to connect with your own emotions a lot of the times. If you're interested in the MBTI theory, which I went through a period I was obsessed with it, you may be an INFJ or an ENFJ. That's mine, by the way. I'm an ENFJ. It's the one that I am apparently. Which apparently you can still be an introvert and be an ENFJ, but I don't know. It's kind of complicated. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, you may want to look into the theory, but take everything with a grain of salt, of course. And anyway, you have issues connecting with your emotions. But once you learn to separate other people's feelings from yours and thoughts from yours, you'll find out that you have been letting subconsciously, without realizing it, you have been letting other people's energies affect you to the point where you don't trust yourself anymore, and you don't, you may have gone into some kind of a slump or a depression as well. Okay? If that doesn't resonate, please throw it out the window. And, times are tough, times are hard, and important not to be so hard on yourself, because a lot of it's coming from other people and it's not even yours. Isn't that fascinating and so liberating? It's not even your stuff, a lot of it. It's just you're taking it on. So breathe in, breathe out. Know that you just function differently than other people, and that's okay. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be different. I feel very drawn to tell you this. It's okay to be different. Okay. Let's take a look at... sorry. It was... You are someone who likes to move, right? Maybe you have a hard time sitting still. Maybe you need to move. Maybe you're just... maybe some of you even have, in this group, if it doesn't resonate, of course, by all means, throw it out the window, but maybe some of you even in this group have a certain element of ADD or ADHD, where you like to move, you like to, you can't sit still. There's something about your environment that you just need, your energy just needs to move, it needs to breathe, and that's not a bad thing. It's just the way you function. Like, for example, I'm a little bit the opposite. I can just, it depends, mind you, but I can just sit and be, and I'm so happy just to sit and be. I can do that for hours. But some people are the opposite, and there's no right or wrong way to be as a spiritual being or a spiritual person or whatever. Just do you. Just do you, my friend. Just do you. Don't worry about how other people are, what other spiritual leaders and teachers say. Take everything everyone says with a grain of salt, okay? And then always come back to your own inner knowing and your own inner truth and intuition. Okay, but if you have been having issues, know that there is a team of spirit guides around you, very, very supportive. They're very present with you. You may feel alone, but know that you're never alone. You have a very powerful team of spirits around you all the time, okay? Let me just put it out there. And I keep being drawn to this. You're coming into alignment, or you will in your lifetime come into alignment with either a twin flame or someone who is really almost like a spirit guide. This will be just the most magnificent partnership that you can imagine. Really beautiful. That's part of your life path. Part of your life path is to come into spiritual union with someone else. And by coming into spiritual union with someone else, this is going to give you more confidence. It's going to raise your vibration. And just by the complementary, mixing your energies together in a very complementary way will help to further develop your psychic gifts and abilities, which is cool. Whoa, very exciting stuff. You get love and heightened psychic abilities. I mean, you've got it all, my friend. All right, so let's take a look at this one. Algies. Oh, you're very protected. Wow. Okay, again, I saw the group of spirit guides around you while you're just sort of having a hard time by yourself. They are very, very, very present, especially when you're feeling super emotional. That's when they're the most there. That's when they're definitely like right near you, and you don't know it, but you do kind of know it, right? Deep down, there's a certain sense or a feeling, an impression that you're not alone in a good way, and you are right on that. You're not crazy. You know what you know, and they are very, very protective of you. Yeah, you're very, wow, whoa, you are very connected to a higher power. very connected to a higher power. Like very, 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 very connected. Caps locks. Connected. Okay, you are very connected to the divine, to a higher power. You are never alone. You are extremely important to this world, and your soul, to your spirit guides. Your spirit guides are rooting you on. They know that you're on a special mission to bring love and light into the world, and that is why they are so protective of you. My goodness, it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful connection that you have. You're coming into some kind of an awakening. There's a few groups you may be drawn. If you want to see pile, or not pile, I guess option number 1. If that draws you in. If not, it could be just that a few different people are going through spiritual awakenings at this time. But you're going through an awakening. You're going through an awakening. You're going to live your high life. You're going to live the life that you have worked so hard to attain in your heart. The vision that you kept creating for yourself, you're going to be able to create that for yourself. So you have a little touch of manifestation abilities as well. Yes, success is yours. I know that it doesn't always feel that way, and it might seem very contrary to the way you're feeling right now, but success is yours. What can I say? You are heading in the right direction towards your own awakening. Very exciting spiritual awakening. Let's see what else Spirit has to say here. You have one more to read, and then I'm going to pick and see what your strongest psychic ability is. Let's see here. I like saying this one. Wunjo. Okay. Wow. Spirit is rewarding you. All the gifts that you are given, don't feel guilty for having them. They are rewards for all of your efforts, all of your hard work that you have experienced in the past, in the hardships that you've experienced. You have the gift of, you can reach an ecstatic state, which is really cool. You are spiritually capable of reaching a state of euphoria and bliss, possibly in meditation, possibly in some practice, or just through connecting with, maybe you have to, draw again or dance again, or something that you have to go back to that you've lost. This gave you a sense of euphoria. Not only did it do that, but it was actually a part of your practice, your spiritual practice. You were able to connect with spirit through art, even more so. So go back to whatever it is that you enjoy doing. Something in the arts, possibly. Let me know if that resonates in the comments. And you are meant to develop this even more. Your creative gifts even more than you have already in the past, by going back to them. And your gifts are going to flourish through practicing your art. Yeah. And there's a lot of just beautiful, and it's so gorgeous that you can reach a state of bliss through your art and through your spiritual practices. Okay, let's take a look at which one. There it is. Your strongest psychic gift is, drum roll please, telepathy. Whoa. You're telepathic. You're able to read minds. You might be overwhelmed in a crowd because right? Didn't I say that you picked up stuff from other people? Not only are you an empath, but you're also telepathic. So you're picking up people's emotions, you're picking up people's thoughts and ideas, and all this is so overwhelming to you, and you confuse it with your own ideas, and it puts you in a very dark state of being, okay? Look at the candles in my video. Look at the light in my video. Dark is not a bad thing, of course. Dark teaches us, gives us wisdom. There is a lot of mystery and beauty in darkness. But there is always light if you look for it. And the light that you have within you is very, very bright, even on your darkest days. And that comes from a spiritual fire that you cannot put out. And this comes from your spirit team, your spirit guides, and it comes from you, from the person that you are. You have a beautiful soul. Beautiful soul. You are a powerful psychic, empath, and telepathic. That is, I can understand that can be very overwhelming and intense sometimes. Especially if being a telepathic is your strongest gift. So I need you to be easy on yourself. I'd like you to be easier on yourself. I mean, you can do what you want, of course, but, you know, spending time in nature and taking care of your well-being. I'm getting just, you know, do things that make you happy. Take time that you need to recharge, especially as an empath. Very important to recharge your batteries and to relax. All right. And I will do a future video on empaths. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy the reading, and I look forward to reading it for you in the next video. Thank you so much for joining. See you later. Okay, number 3. So before I look at your runes number 3, let me just go off of the little design that I have here to channel some interesting information. You don't always trust your gifts and abilities that come through. You can be more of a logical, linear type of thinker. Wow, it's interesting because I'm hearing some of you are like, no, I am not a linear thinker, but there's something about you that you're blocking, or you're used to thinking in a linear way, or people encourage you to think in a linear way. And whenever you think in a different type of way, either it's challenging to you or someone has put it down. So either way, whether you're used to working in a linear way because it's natural to you and you like things being just sort of more structured and in line, or whether this is something that was more forced upon you, I'm here to say that on your way towards your north node, you can take a look at where your north node is in your birth chart online. On your way towards your north node, towards your life path, the universe is encouraging you to use more of the right side of your mind, not to throw away the you know, everything that you learned successfully in terms of linear and structured thought, but Spirit is encouraging you to also include and now develop, in order to balance yourself out, this more abstract, open, intuitive, free-flowing, go with the flow way of thinking. Okay? Let's take a look at your runes. Let's see what they have to say. Right. Okay. Interesting. Interesante. Interesante. Okay. We start with Ewas. Strength. You are strong. You have a strong energy, a very strong person. You may not feel that way, but you are. You're someone that other people can depend on. You are someone who's very trustworthy. You are someone who is, if you're coming, wow, okay. This is a very powerful word to get. In your lifetime, you are going to experience some kind of enlightenment. Enlightenment. Your mind, you're just your whole perspective about life is going to change and grow and develop into something more whole and more beautiful than it already is. And it will make sense to you as you go along. And sometimes it'll be confusing, but there's going to be something about your life path that's really going to stand out in a very, 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 very powerful way. Wow. So something along the lines of enlightenment, right? Maybe you're going to become very balanced in your left and right brain ways of thinking. And this is going to be the enlightenment for you, that you're not only going to be using the left side of your brain to process information as it comes through, but you're also going to look at things in a different way as well. Okay, let's take a look at what else the runes have to say. All right, we can't see it. Oh, because I'm not showing it to you. Now these. Oh, okay. You are someone who you really don't... There's a certain frustration here when it comes to your gifts, and it's like you have so much coming through, but you don't trust it. And your gifts are very powerful. They're very unique and powerful gifts that are hard to describe. And there aren't a lot of people who share the same sort of gifts that you have. So maybe share your experience of how you experience your intuitive abilities, your psychic abilities in the comments below. But yeah, you certainly are someone who has a very strong amount of gifts. It's almost like you're standing here and behind you there's like a wall of psychic abilities, and you're almost blocking it because you're afraid of it, because it's overwhelming, because you don't understand it, and it doesn't fit inside a box that you can just package and put on the shelf. Do you know what I mean? Everything that's coming through you is out of the box. It's out of your comfort zone. It can be very alarming. It can be very scary. But these gifts are beautiful, and they're being given to you for a reason. To use for the good of yourself and for others, of course. But then you have to determine what exactly and how exactly you're going to use them. You know what I mean? Okay, let's take a look at the last rune, and then we're going to see what your strongest gift is. We can find where unfortunately these aren't numbered or put in any alphabetical order, so I just have to leaf through and find the keywords of the day. Where have we gone? Keywords. All right, there it is. Rado. Aha! So there's something. It's all about evolution, a change. You're coming through some kind of an awakening, enlightenment, where your whole being is going to be different. Everything as you know it is going to be different. Everything is going to change. It's going to move in a positive direction, albeit a little scary at times. That doesn't mean bad. Okay, scary when it comes to change is not necessarily a bad thing. It can be a very good thing. It can be a very exciting thing. And I see a lot of exciting things coming your way. And I'm really excited for you, you know. Yeah, you have, you may think that you don't have a lot of abilities, or you may say that you're more, you're trying to, I think you know that you do have these powerful abilities. You're just afraid of them because they're very different from, you know, the way you're used to seeing the world around you and understanding yourself. Don't be frightened. Everything will come when it's time for it to come. Just work on healing your mind, body, emotions, and the right gift will present itself when it's time. Does that help? Does that help you to feel a little less overwhelmed by it all? I am going to see which one of these. Aha! What's to pop on this one? Fell down. Let's see what it has to say. Oh, you're a channeler. Your strongest psychic ability is your ability to channel information. And that it would make sense why you don't trust it a lot of times, because you're getting all this stuff that seems to come out of nowhere, out of left field, and then you're left thinking, well, this isn't logical, and this doesn't make sense, and this doesn't fit in with anything that I'm doing right now, or that, you know, I'm thinking about. It's just this random thought that comes through, or these random ideas. And spirit, you can channel messages from spirit. You can also, some of you, channel messages from the dead, from past loved ones, and I don't encourage anyone to go into mediumship unless they are really, really prepared mentally and emotionally and very stable, able to handle that kind of thing, because then you're working sometimes with all kinds of different entities, some good, some not, you know, some lower vibrational. And that could be a little bit more alarming and worrisome, especially if you're more of a linear logical thinker. But that being said, if you wanted to speak to the dead, you could. And but if you want to, I mean, I'm also a channeler, and so I channel messages from spirit, just as I'm doing now. So you can do all the things that I'm doing. You just have your own unique way of going about it. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I look forward to reading for you in another video. All right. Squeaky, squeaky on my chair here. I'm always dropping things on the ground, so I always have to and down, pick them up under my desk. Anyhow, here we are, number 4. Number 4. I'm going to channel your energy. So it's appropriate that I dropped a piece of paper just before your reading, because your energy, my friend, is very electric, very intense, maybe even very fiery, possibly. But definitely electric. Like, look at that zigzag that you chose, right? For number 4. Your energy's like, ooh, like that's kind of your vibration all the time, like, right? Which might explain why you feel anxiety sometimes. Am I right? Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, chuck my thought out the window, but that's what I'm getting right away off the bat. Let's take a look at what your runes have to say. That was just 1. I just heard very strongly 1 in my mind. So 1 doesn't mean you only have one thing, and you're not as powerful, by the way. I just said you were very powerful, so you don't need more than 1. Okay. Let's take a look. You got Kanaz. Let's see, Kanaz. What do you have to tell us, Kanaz? What do you have to say? All right. You are very creative. Oh, isn't that interesting? We talked about fire and electricity, and look at all of these words that are popping out. Vital fire of life. Harnessed power. Fire of transformation. Passion comes up as well. So light. You are a light to behold. You are a light in the darkness for a lot of people. You actually, interestingly enough, people feel the intensity of your energy, but it sort of relaxes them at the same time. Even though inside you're all over the place, you may give off the impression that you're calm on the outside, but whoa, your energy is very heightened and intense. Everyone can feel it around you. Don't worry, because people like the feeling of it. You just have to choose who you want to hang around, because some of those people might drain your energy from you. But you are you have this very intense, fiery energy. I mean, part of your psychic gift is just you. Yourself is very intense. very fiery, very electric. You may experience a lot of technological disturbances around you where, computers might glitch out, or I don't know, anything might glitch out around you that's technologically based. You may enjoy working with technology. That being said, that probably has a lot to do with your very electric kind of energy. The way your energy moves is sort of very much in line with a lot of times the way electricity, if you think of the way electricity, I'm sorry, I feel very embarrassed. My husband's an engineer, but if you ask me, all right, the charges, right? Someone correct me down in the comments here. The positive protons and the electrons, and they just magnetic. I'm not even going to try, because I can visualize it in my mind, but I don't have the words, since I don't have the technical words to explain my madness. But yeah. You are, wow, are you a powerhouse of energy? Holy moly. You're probably very sexually attractive as well. Let me just put it out there. You might be into tantric healing. You might just have this very, just everything about you is very strong and magnetic and powerful. Speaking of, I know magnets and electricity are two separate things. You'll have to forgive me, anyone who knows a lot of information about this out there, but as far as being very magnetic, you draw people to you physically, intellectually, emotionally, and psychically as well. Just watch out for that, because you always want to protect yourself and ground your energy. Especially important for you to ground your energy, since your vibration is, whoa, through the roof. Okay. All right. I don't know why I'm drawing that. Your energy is a lot to process, I guess. It's left me, I don't even know what the words are. Stunned. All right, let's see what your strongest gift is. Okay. This might be a very strong gift now. I find it very interesting. All right, I'm going to go with it. Do you feel very drawn to speaking with animals? Do you feel like you have a deep connection with them? It seems like your strongest gift may be animal communicator, but I'm also going to get another read. You may have... Yeah. I'm just going to trust my own intuition here. I'm just because it's just two separate things almost. You have an ability to understand and communicate with animals. If that doesn't resonate, then I apologize. Maybe the first part of the reading resonated. Let me know what resonates in the comments. Maybe not all of it does, and that's fine. But what's coming up basically is that you are an animal communicator. You can understand animals and speak to them, and there's something about your energy that they love and that they feel very safe around and protected around. That's beautiful. We need more people like you, because animal communication is a very useful ability when it comes to, animals who need to be rescued or in some precarious situations. Rescue animals who just need someone to communicate with them, to help them understand that they're not alone, You have no idea how beautiful, reassuring, and powerful your ability to communicate with nonverbal beings is. think about that. They don't have the ability to express themselves in words. And unfortunately, because of that, so many people take them for granted because they can't express their ideas and show how intelligent they are in ways that people who are not able to really communicate with animals, or people who don't see the value in another being that doesn't have two legs, what they bring, you know? So you have this ability, you're an animal communicator. I think that's beautiful. I think that's very powerful. All the power to you. And let me know about your experiences in the comments. It's so great. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I look forward to feeling your presence in the next video. See you later. All right, number 5. Hello, number 5. So before I pull out some runes for you, I just want to say that you have just such charming, beautiful, soft energy. Oh, it's just such a charming, lovely, go with the flow, like a Piscean energy. You may be a Pisces yourself. Let me know in the comments below, but you may not be. You might just have a lot of 12th house action. Maybe your moon is in Pisces even, but you just have this, or you're in Pisces ascendant, but you just have this beautiful, flowy energy. And I actually get the feeling that even though you might not think so, a lot of your psychic abilities come naturally to you and you're able to manifest them. Oh, you have one of your gifts is the ability to manifestation, but you're able to, develop your gifts and enact your gifts without even realizing that you're doing anything. Wow. Okay. That's how natural it is for you. That's how seamless it is for you. Let's see what your runes have to say. All right, all right, nice. Okay, let's take a look here. Let's take a look. Interesting. Didn't I say water and flow? I don't know if I said water, mind you, but I said go with the flow or flowy energy. I don't know if that, I said Piscean. Pisces associated with water, right? We have flow, water, sea. You're a healer. You are a healer. You have a healing vibration, whether you try to heal on purpose or it just happens by accident. You're standing next to someone and they just open up to you. Maybe strangers open up to you naturally all the time, but you are definitely a healer. Something about your vibration, your voice is just so soothing and healing. Okay? You have a big imagination and you are very, 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 very psychic. What did I say before? That your psychic abilities just happen naturally without you even realizing it. It's just that they happen so naturally. You think what you're doing or what comes through your mind, through your imagination is just silliness or everyone can do it, but no, not everyone can do it. And a lot of the impressions that you're getting are psychic intuitions. You have a beautiful dream life. You have an exciting dream life. You may be into lucid dreaming, where you're aware that you're dreaming, and then you can change, the aspects of your dreams to have any kind of dream experience that you want. That's really cool. Astral projection. If you ever thought of astral projection, you may want to look into it, but definitely make sure that you do that. Make sure that you get enough sleep, because with astral projection, that can be very draining sometimes when you wake up. If you had an astral projection experience that you were aware of during your sleep, you your energy levels may not be as well rested as they could have been had you not had that experience, ironically enough. So just make sure that you ground your energy, spend time in nature. All that's really important, but you have a very, very exciting dream life. Okay. And something about the underworld, you may experience certain paranormal activity or paranormal occurrences. If you need to protect your energy, just because you're the healer, right? So you're drawing in all kinds of spirits to you, good and bad. So if you need to protect your energy, you know, just make sure that you do that. Make sure that you watch my, it's like a total brain fart, watch my video on protection, psychic protection, if you're not sure how to go about protecting your energy from spirits. And I do mention a little mantra in the clairvoyance video as well, but definitely if you have to choose one, you know, choose the psychic protection one, because I talk a little bit about how you can protect yourself and your energy from negative entities and vibrations. All right, let's take a look at some of the other runes. Sorry, just, they're not numbered in order. There we go. Here we have it. Sowilo. I like this one. Sowilo. Sowilo. It means the sun. You, wow. I'm just going to read some of this to you out loud. Contact between the higher self and the unconscious. Wholeness, power, elemental force, sword of flame, cleansing fire. You have a connection to elemental energies. Are you very drawn to nature? I did mention grounding. This will be exceptionally beneficial to you because you have a deep connection with the Fae, the spiritual guardians of the elements, including nature and plants and trees. And you may have a special connection to these elemental, nature-based elemental type spirits as well. Some people call them fairies. Of course, you know, they don't all look like my card in the background with the wings. You can have all kinds of different nature beings that look very different from what you would stereotypically think of as a nature being. You have a deep connection with nature beings. Interesting. All right. You may be interested in looking at my video on elementals or fairies. I forget what I called it. It was an older video, Fairy Whispers or something like that. Anyway, take a look at that video. It might interest you because that video is made for people like you who are very connected to the realm of the Fae. You're very connected. You are very connected to your spirit guides. I'm getting that you have a lot of elemental beings around you as spirit guides. You're very connected to a higher power. You're very, very connected. You're very psychic. You're very psychic, very connected. You may be connected to the Fae because you have lived lifetimes as an elemental being yourself, or you also may have had lifetimes where you would have been categorized as being like a witch or something like that. If you're a guy, I don't know what the equivalent would have been. I don't think people ran around saying, oh, you're a warlock, you know. I don't know what they would have said. I'm just using the word that people use disrespectfully towards you. I think the word witch is awesome, but it's turned into a derogatory term for a lot of people, unfortunately, because of history and the way history played out. In reality, these beings that were, you know, these people that practice this witchcraft, you know, some of them, for sure, just like anyone, just like anywhere, would have used this against others in a negative way. But most of these people were just high frequency people who are healers, who are shamans, who had a connection, who had the gift of prophecy, who had different psychic abilities. I have news for you. But if we were alive in a previous time, all of us would have been persecuted as being witches or something of the sort, right? We would have thought, oh, your abilities are demonic. Well, it's not at all. Couldn't be further from the truth. It's actually that we are just expressing our God-given intuitive rights, right? All of us have intuitive abilities. Some of us are just a little bit more tapped in. That's all it is. And people are fearful and they try to polarize things. But anyway, a lot of these sort of more earth-based humans who practice sort of earth-based religions are also very connected to the elemental realm as well. This is where I connect with you. I myself have a lot of elemental guides. You probably might have guessed with the way I do my intro. I have a little fairy in the background and all of that. And just when I said elemental guides, I felt this huge wave of energy. I'm not sure if you're feeling it as well. And I just felt that your guides and my guides are here and they're having a party of just dancing around in nature. I don't know what I'm saying, but somehow we're connected in a sense, and that you are very connected to elementals, so am I. Find that very fascinating, interesting. Let me know if you have any questions about that. I'd love to connect on it, because it's not often that I come across someone like you, and thank you for stopping by. All right, let's take a look at what else Spirit has to say. Okay, so then we have Tiwaz. Let's see, what are the words that come through? You are an honorable person. You are someone of truth. You are someone of sacrifice. You're willing to give, to sacrifice what you need to in order to help others. You are someone of justice. Whoa, I just got chills thinking about this. You have some serious archangel elemental combination of the two between archangels and elementals, just guiding and protecting you. Whether they're all your spirit guides or not is besides the point. They communicate with you because of your intense and beautiful and special connection to spirit, because you're so freaking psychic. Not just because you're psychic, but also because you're a good person, and because they trust you, and because you have an important message to carry out. That is very powerful, very strong, my friends. Okay, let's take a look at what your strongest gift is. Aha, interesting. That one wanted to come out really badly. Okay, so this is yours. Let's see. Well, this is quite fascinating to me, because your strongest gift, it seems, at least right now, is your ability, your divination abilities, your ability to use tools such as runes. Right? Hello, can't see anything here. Pendulums. Getting sleepy. You're getting sleepy. Crystal ball, tea leaves, coffee grinds, really anything where you're using tools to in order to look for patterns and symbols and things like that, to divine a message. So divination, the power of divination, you have a strong ability to understand patterns and messages through the tools that you use, and not just tools, but anything really in your environment. You're able to pick so much up through your psychic abilities of just being able to pick up patterns and being in tune. Your spirit also sends you a lot of messages through your divination practices, and spirit likes to talk to you when you're doing any kind of divination work, if you're really into that already. And if you're not, see whatever method you feel more drawn to. Is it runes? Is it tarot? Or is there an oracle card deck that you like? Do you prefer to try crystal ball? Are you more into reading tea leaves? Just see where you're drawn, because you have a gift of being, you can develop so many different practices. You can do it all. You can do runes, you can do tarot, you can do all of it. If you really wanted to, your mind is very sharp, and spirit likes to talk to you while you're doing these divinatory practices, because you're focused on communicating with spirit. So you might be overwhelmed by a lot of the messages coming through when you do that. So just take it easy and trust the information that comes through, because this is your strongest gift. It's no accident. And stop doubting yourself so much, my friend. Stop doubting yourself. You got this. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing, right? Good. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I look very forward to reading for you in a future video. See you later. All right, number 6. I'm just going to take a look at the image here, and then I'll take a look at the runes. So, you're a leader. You like to point people in the right direction. I know we're talking about psychic gifts, and I'm going to share your strongest psychic ability at the end of the reading, but you certainly are some kind of a spiritual leader. You have an important message to share with others, and yeah, you are a spiritual leader of some kind. Let's take a look at what your runes have to say. Whoa, you have a lot. Ew. We have a lot here. Okay, Hagalas. Your gifts have been developing during this time of COVID. Maybe you have less to do, and so all of a sudden all of your gifts are opening up. It's not that they weren't there to begin with, it's just that they are all coming up more and more and more and more now, since you have the time on your hands, and spirit knows that it can get your attention right now. So this time of COVID has helped you to develop a lot of these gifts. Let's take a look at see what else comes through here. So we have, hold on a second, let me just get the right one. And Sus. This symbol is associated with Odin. Odin, the Norse god. Odin. You are clairaudient. You speak the words of truth through your mouth. You have a powerful voice. Well, you would need a powerful voice as a spiritual healer, wouldn't you? So people listen to what you have to say. People listen to what you have to say because it resonates with them, because it rings true. There's something about you that just stands out from the rest. You need to stand out from the rest in order to be the spiritual leader that you are. So you have very powerful words, because spirit speaks through your words to other people. So you carry messages directly from spirit. You have a very powerful mission on earth. To be a spiritual leader is a great responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. So, use it wisely, of course. It can be overwhelming at times. Make sure that after taking care and guiding everybody else, you take out, the time that you need to relax. a look here. What else? You are very blessed, and people feel blessed around you. You have this calming energy because you reassure others that everything's going to be okay, and they believe you. They believe that everything is going to be okay. They really do. You are a spiritual leader. Take that with a grain of salt. Always remain humble. Being a spiritual leader is like a blessing and a curse at times, because it means that you are often the one that other people seek for advice. But then at times you may feel, where's somebody else that I can turn to, right? And we all have someone we can turn to, but sometimes we don't. Sometimes we really don't. There are moments in our lives where we don't. So let me know in the comments how you feel about that. I can definitely relate. But you are blessed. You are blessed with this gift of wisdom and spiritual leadership and clairaudience, where you speak the truth through your words to others. So know that however you're feeling, you heal a lot of people. You make a lot of people feel good about themselves. Don't get too hard. Don't be too down on yourself. You don't have to be perfect. People are not expecting you to be perfect. Just make sure that you have time, alone time for you, me time, right? You time, just to really, really relax. All right, let's take a look at the rest of... Okay. This makes a lot of sense. Munjo reversed. We're talking about alienation. You feel, oh, okay. Oh, I understand. I understand. You feel sometimes that spirit just uses you in order to carry out messages. I get it. Spirit doesn't look at it this way. You are like the divine messenger, right? Spirit is not using you. Spirit is gifting you with this ability, because you're not only carrying out messages to others, you also have this connection yourself. You're not just a leader for others. You're the connection that you have with Spirit is also beneficial to you, because you can turn to Spirit when your spirit guides or a higher power, when you're feeling low, when you're feeling down. You have that ability to connect with your spirit guides, with a higher power, in a very powerful way, in a very connected way. So Spirit is reminding you to let it know when you need to speak to it, for any sort of to give you any kind of consolation and comfort. It is lonely to be a leader at times, because you're on your own as the leader, right? So just remember that you're not really alone, that you've been gifted with this amazing connection, spirit around you. You're never truly alone, even though it's very deceiving. It seems like you are, but you're not. All right. Are you ready for your most powerful psychic gift? I think you're going to hate me for this one. Jack of all trades. Honey, you can do it all. Claircognizance, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, telepathy, whatever. All of it. And you can develop more and more. You're very good at picking things up along the way, and you have the ability to do all kinds of things. It's not just one that's the strongest for you. You have many, 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 many gifts, and all these gifts are given to you for a reason, from Spirit as a gift, to use for the benefit of all, for the good of all, but also as a kind of solace and reminder that you are not alone, that you are very connected, and that you can also use these gifts to, during your downtime to, for your own personal experience of connection to spirit. That's very beautiful. Very beautiful indeed. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I look very forward to connecting with you in a future reading. See you later.